Good-looking group here today, and welcome on behalf of the University of Houston Athletic Department. It is good to have everyone here. I want to give you an idea of what we'll be doing here today. We will hear from Tilman Fertitta. We will hear from President Khator, Chris Pesman, and of course, Coach Fritz. We're going to open things up for Q&A. A lot of folks here from the media, a lot of good Cougars here as well. We'll also have plenty of photo opportunities, and if there's anything else you need, Andrew Pate, his crew, they will certainly take care of you if you have any extra things that you might need. I'm Kevin Aschenfelder of Space City Home Network. It is good to be here today. I've just finished my 11th season as the play-by-play announcer here at University of Houston. I got to tell you, 50 years ago, I was in the Junior Cougar Club. I'm not making that up. It's a true story. But so I've seen good days and not so good days, and I can promise you this, today is a great day. We're going to get things started by our first speaker today, U of H System Board of Regents Chairman, Tilman Fertitta. Tilman. You go ahead.
Thank you so much. You know, Renu and I have done a lot of press conferences and done a lot of these over the last few years, but I do not like it when we have them in this building here. Because when we have them in this building here, something didn't go right. And this is you made a change press conference. So, and it's usually in football. So it's only in football that we have them here. So hopefully, at least through our term, for many years to come, there will not be another one in this building, or are we? And I can tell you, I really don't see that happening. And when we made the decision to make a change, we had us a list, and we had one person that was on the top of our list, and we got on this immediately. And we talked about it, and we were going to have a press conference on Monday morning if Chris Pesman was the coach, and then we would have really been in trouble. But what we realized, even before we decided to make a change, is that to coach football at the University of Houston was different than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. That this was a job that was highly, highly sought after by a lot of coaches. And so we didn't have to settle. And I use that term a lot in business. We're not going to settle. And we did our list of 10 names. We took it to 5 names after talking to a lot of different people. And we didn't settle. We got the person that we wanted, and that's this gentleman right here. And we talked to a lot of other exceptional candidates that we feel like could have done a great job here at the University of Houston. But what we kept coming to back here is family man, adult in the room, would be a great mentor for these young kids. And wherever he went, he won. And that's something that I continue to look at with anything, anywhere. But Chris and Renu and other people that were involved in the search was the fact that everywhere he went, he won. And as we all know in life, it's not easy to continually win everywhere you go. I know everybody thinks, oh my gosh, you have the golden touch. Everything you touch is successful. That is not true. I've been very unsuccessful and made lots of bad decisions. Okay? All right? And we think this is the guy to win here at the University of Houston for many years to come.
Thank you, Chairman Fertitta. What you may not know, how many hours and how much effort Chairman has put in this. His devotion, his passion for where the university is headed, where the university is, his love for his students is just unparalleled. So please give another hand to Chairman Fertitta. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming here, because none of this would be possible without the support of our fans, so we are very grateful. And welcome, Coach Fritz. We are super delighted, happy and excited to have you and your family here with us. Happy that you are joining the Cougar Nation, the land of the red, the best land on this earth. For the past 16 years during my presidency, we have been chasing a dream to have a national platform for our student athletes, a dream to give a sense of pride and encouragement and engagement to all of the 47,000 plus students, and a dream to reclaim what is rightfully ours to be a powerhouse program, athletic program right here, which was robbed from us 28 years ago, but we needed it back. In last 16 years, Coach Fritz, you will be the 6th head coach here during my presidency. I just want to say that all other head coaches, they have really helped us pull along in this journey to be where we are today. In their own ways, they have all helped us grow, mature, and be here, so we are very thankful to all of them. However, you have the opportunities like no one else had so far. First of all, we already have a national platform. We are in the Power 5 conference. We are in Big 12 from the get-go, starting here. Secondly, we are already an elite academic institution. We are ranked among the top 75 public universities, headed toward being top 50 public universities in the nation. We understand here the integration of academics and athletics very well. Both are equally important to us. This entire university believes in that integration. And I want you to meet, if you coach you haven't yet seen, but let me recognize the provost of the University of Houston, Diane Chase, is right there. She's here as a commitment. Also here is the president of the Faculty Senate, Susie Gronseth. She's here too, Professor Gronseth, right here. Many of my other cabinet members are here because we all are vested in it. If you are in my cabinet, would you please just raise your hand, and we can see all of the vice presidents. Everybody's here. Our goal is to be in top 50, and the ultimate result is when our student athletes and students are being successful. And the goal of being excellent in both academic and athletics is not just possible. That is the only goal we seek. We want to be great in academics, and we want to be great in athletics. And let me tell you, out of the top 12 teams that are ranked in CFP this year, which just finished yesterday, if you look at it, all 12 of them are public universities, all 12 of them. And 8 of the 12 are in top 50. So yes, it is possible, not only possible, it is desirable to build both extremely strong right here. And if it's not possible at other places, I believe it is possible in Houston. We don't stop at anything less than what is absolutely the best for our city, for our region, for our state. And I believe very strongly that the strength in both academics and athletics is important. So, Coach, you are joining this family. You are now a partner on this transformational journey. We are not done yet. Actually, our best days are ahead of us. And we are so happy, and I am so grateful that you have chosen to join here. When I met you the first time, we spent an hour and a half together. My sense was that you had the integrity, the character, and the values that were very consistent to hear what we need here and what we have here among Cougars. We have a kind of grit and determination not seen at many places. We are not an entitled bunch, but we are people who are hungry, who have fire in their belly, dreams in their eyes, and passion in their heart. So welcome to the Cougar Nation. We're just happy to have you here. Wishing you all the success in the world. I will be there on the field, right there next, because making sure you win. And I will be right there traveling with you, making sure that we win. But as important as winning is, I want to make sure our student athletes are really very, very successful in their lives. And we have engagement for all these 47,000 students and our 300,000 alumni who live so far away, but so near also. They just need a reason to be here. So thank you, and good luck to you.
So, Coach, you got to get a headset for her on the sideline. I'm just telling you. Just make sure there's no mic because she'll call plays. You got to be careful. Let me first start. There's a lot of people that we need to recognize and thank. I won't make this too long, but this is a process, and there's a lot of people that become invested in this process because of the importance of a hire like this and the prestige and the value of the hire, not just to the athletic department and the football program, but also to the institution. But first and foremost, if we have any of our current student athletes in here, any of our players, can you raise your hand? There we go. Let's give those kids a round of applause, please. Those young people are the lifeblood of our program, and obviously during changes like this, you know, we try to keep them engaged, and these kids were wonderful this last week, and the primary focus we gave them was focus on your academics, let us worry about the search, and we'll bring you back a great head coach. And I think you guys will see that as soon as Coach Fritz gets up here. The second part is any current or former regents that are in this room, if you would raise your hand. Oh, all right. Normally we've got a lot, so we caught a break there. Any of our head coaches, I saw a few of those. Coach Whitting, others, raise your hand. Coach Lewis, thank you guys. When you're working through searches like this, and when we're working with Coach's agent Bynum, you know, Donna Cornell and Jeff Palmer are general counsels for the university. They're incredibly invaluable to us, calling them at all hours of the night. The thankless and tireless work ethic. Donna and Jeff, thank you guys very much for your help. Also, Chairman Fertitta and President Khator, you know, this can be a lonely time when you're running a search. There's not a lot of people you can rely upon, but fortunately, I've got two incredible resources with Tilman and Chancellor. I mean, obviously, they're completely involved with what we do as a university, but their engagement through this process, their input, their insight, I'm very privileged to have that opportunity to lean on you too. So thank you guys very much. And then lastly, Monty, Garrett, Alvin, I had a small crew that was inside my office that was sworn to secrecy and punishment of death if they spoke, and they did a great job helping me through this process because there's a lot that comes at you, but thank you to them and their help. And then the last part that I think is mostly important that we all recognize is the alignment that we have as an institution. As you see with our board chair here and our president, that alignment exists as the university administration is here, or as I mentioned, our general counsel, our provost, other members of the cabinet, Jason Smith. That doesn't happen everywhere, and I know you've heard me say that before, but that is so important for us from our growth that we've had and the success that we're going to have in the future. That alignment is so important, and it takes everybody in this room to show up and show support because there's a lot of equity that they put into us, and through that, it's reflective of this room, everybody showing up. So thank you all. Coach, I'm going to let you introduce your family because you said you got that. But I wanted to pivot to just one thing before I introduce Coach. You know, you come up with a checklist. There's a lot of things that you're trying to guide towards as far as your North Star, your guiding principles when you're looking for somebody to lead our program. But really what it came down to is Coach Fritz is a great coach, a proven winner everywhere he's been, a program builder, and I think what you'll see that we've seen, even better person, and somebody I couldn't be more proud to lead our football program. Coach Fritz, please come up. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Go Cougs! Let's go! I like it. I like it. Thank you very much. I appreciate President Khator, and one of the reasons why I wanted to come here and be the head football coach is because of the academic prowess at the University of Houston. You want to have a lot of things that you can sell, and obviously getting a degree from a world-renowned university like the University of Houston is a huge deal. So thank you for choosing me. I appreciate the chairman of the Board of Regents, Mr. Tilman Fertitta, for everything he does for the University of Houston and the city of Houston. Thank you for letting us fly over on your plane last night, too. Pretty nice plane. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. And then Chris, you know, we all bleed red, right? This guy bleeds Cougar red, and he's teaching me all about, you know, the University of Houston and all the great things that have been accomplished here and will be accomplished here. And his passion, every time that I spoke to him, was just evident, and I appreciate you picking me as your head football coach, and I also appreciate you having patience in the process. You know, I had some deals going on here with games and things, and I wanted to make sure my focus was in that direction, and he was excellent with all of that. I've got my family here, and I'm you know, I don't have any hobbies, I guess. I don't fish, I don't golf, I don't hunt, I don't do any of that stuff. I work, and I hang out with my family, and that's it. And I got my wife, Susan, here. When I married her a couple years ago, I took her to the great metropolis of Coffeyville, Kansas. And she has lived all over the country and just a perfect coach's wife in every way. My son, Wes, is back there in the back, and Wes works for me and really was responsible for the recruitment of a bunch of the players that we had at Tulane. We weren't able to get 5-star guys. We got 1-star, 2-star guys, and we saw something in them and developed them into 5-star guys. We got 15 guys playing in the NFL right now, and 11 of them, we were their only Division I offer. And a lot of the credit goes to Wes. Unfortunately, his wife, Rebecca, and my grandson, Grant, could not be here today, but he's got a great family. I've never had one issue with him in 33 years on this earth. So thank you, Wes. And my daughter Lainey wasn't able to come. She was in here and was a broadcaster here in the greater Houston area. Loves the Houston area and loves U of H. And she's excited about us being here. And then my daughter Brooke, my youngest daughter, and her fiance Mark, they live in Cyprus. I think Brooke might be the most excited person that we got this job. Her best buddy, Michaela, and we helped raise Michaela. And then my mother-in-law, Joyce Brooker, has just been a blessing to all of us. If you give them all a big hand, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know, a lot of people, they start on third base and they think they hit a home run. They think they hit a triple. It took me a long time to get around the bases. And I finally got my home run by getting this job that's a dream for me here at the University of Houston. I want to acknowledge and thank the places that I've been at. I've been at a couple places. I started off at Pittsburgh State University. I actually played football and basketball there. I saw Coach Sampson. We were walking in, and one of our goals is we're going to play as hard as a football team as his basketball team plays. All right? When they used to come over and play Tulane, I'd go to the game and watch them play, and I was always impressed by the effort. But I want to thank everybody at Pittsburgh State. I want to thank everybody at my high school. I coached there at my high school alma mater, Shawnee Mission Northwest. You know what their nickname was? The Cougars. So that's a sign, isn't it? I think so. I want to thank the people up at Willis, Texas. I actually was an elementary PE teacher at Willis, and I coached football and basketball there and really enjoyed my time in Willis, enjoyed our time at Coffeyville Community College. We won national championship there as the D coordinator. I want to thank all the people at Blinn Junior College. I was a head coach over at Blinn. We won a couple games over there. I think we won 26 in a row and a couple national championships, and vast majority of the players that played for me were from the greater Houston area. I want to thank everybody at the University of Central Missouri. We went up, that's where we were at for 13 years, kind of where we raised our kids. A graduate of Central Missouri is our owner of the Astros here in town, Jim Crane. You know, so we loved our time at Central Missouri. Loved our time up the road at Sam Houston State University. I'm a graduate of Sam Houston. Got my master's degree there. I got a couple of my kids who graduated from Sam Houston also, and won a bunch of ball games there and got that program turned around. Went over a couple years at Georgia Southern. I took a chance. I wanted to be a Division I head football coach. I went over to Georgia. When they hired me, I told them, I said, why would you hire me? I've been to the airport in Atlanta twice. I don't know anybody in Georgia. But they liked the fact that I'd turned some programs around, and we got that program turned around. And then I want to thank the great people at Tulane, the players, President Fitz. They were all just awesome. It was a tough rebuild, but our players did some that people thought was never going to be accomplished at Tulane. So I want to thank all these different people that allowed me to be standing here in front of you with the job that I've always wanted, to be the head coach here at the University of Houston. So thank you for listening to all the different places I've been at. Just a little bit about my philosophy. We talk about recruit, retain, develop. Recruit bona fide Division I student athletes with character. That's a big deal to me. It's a real big deal to me. I'm proud of the fact that we graduated every guy who went through our program at Tulane. We're going to do the same thing here at the University of Houston. We're going to recruit the heck out of the state of Texas. I don't know why you wouldn't. The best football in the country is played here in this state, and I'm fortunate that I know a bunch of the high school coaches, and I'm excited about renewing my acquaintances with those guys. We talk about retain. You got to provide a culture where your kids can thrive and grow and get better on the field, off the field, in the classroom, wherever it might be. I'm proud of the fact there's 133 schools that play Division I football. We've been in the bottom 10 of guys who have entered the portal. All right, I think that tells you about the type of culture that we've had at the different places I've been at. And then last but not least is develop these guys. Develop them in the classroom, develop them off the field, but also develop them on the field. We had a meeting last night with the team. I told the guys, if you like playing football, you're not going to enjoy playing football for me. You got to love playing football. All right, and I want them to understand that's a big part of it, and we're going to recruit guys that love playing football. But I am so proud to be your head football coach. I'm so excited about this opportunity, and go Cougs. Thank you all very much.
We're gonna open things up for some Q&A, and then we'll have a photo op out here in front. Who's got the first question?
Hey, Coach Fritz, Sam Kahn from The Athletic. Congratulations, welcome.
Thank you.
Curious, you've had some stops in your career that you've been for like a long time. You mentioned Central Missouri for 13 years.
Yeah.
You obviously did Tulane for a while. What made this the right time for you to make this move, and what about this job attracted you the most?
Oh, we talked about the academic prowess of the institution. That was part of it. My familiarity with the Houston area, the state of Texas. You know, you know, I've done it at the junior college level. I've done it at the Division II level. I've done it at the 1AA level. I've done it, you know, at the Group of 5 level. I want to do it at the Power 5 level. That's a goal of mine.
Willie, Joseph Duarte, Houston Chronicle. As you jump into this, what are the maybe top of the list agenda for you? Is it transfer portal? Is it getting the recruiting stuff situated, the new team? Can you kind of give us a little insight on what you plan to tackle first?
There's a bunch of things to tackle. Last night, we had a great visit with the team. And over the course of the next few months, I'm going to get an opportunity to really meet those guys. And, I'm going to be involved with every facet of their life. I had a college coach, Ron Randleman, who coached me at Pittsburgh State, and then I was an assistant for him at Sam Houston State University. And he's my role model and mentor as far as coaching is concerned. I've just followed the path that he helped create for me. And so that's part of it. And then we got to do a great job with recruiting. I'm going to talk to some of these young men, and hopefully they want to be a part of a great program. And, they all seem to be very, very excited about my hire last night. It was a great team meeting, I thought. Yeah. And but there's a lot of things we need to tackle, but at the forefront, obviously, needs to be recruiting.
Josh Criswell, Cron.com. Willie, just, given your connections in this state, starting out as a head coach at Blinn, then going on to do what you did at Sam Houston, you talk about, the challenge of competing at the Power 5 level. What does it mean for you for that challenge to be here in this state?
Well, that was the reason why I wanted to come here. That's one of the many reasons why I wanted to come here, is have this opportunity to do it in the great state of Texas, the great city of Houston. I just feel like, this isn't, Houston has had some great teams. I mean, some great teams. It's not like it hasn't been done here before. We just want to do it again, and we want to do it consistently year after year after year after year. And that's the goal here.
Hi, Willie. Steve Helwick, SB Nation. At Tulane, you brought that program to a bowl team in a few years, but it took to year 7 to really turn that into a juggernaut. What did you learn at that stop as a difference between making a program good and great like you made it?
Well, every school is different, and you got to find the ins and the outs of each institution. What's your selling points? The recruiting base, all those different things. And that's one of the things, even though I've been in the great state of Texas for a long period of time, I've got to learn more and more about the University of Houston and how we're going to attack it, and I need to do that quickly.
Coach Greg Bailey from ABC 13 here in Houston, welcome.
Thank you.
Where does line of scrimmage football fall under your priorities? We all saw what you did against USC. How do you build that here? How important is it for you to build that here to have the kind of success that's part of your program?
Yeah, I really believe in complementary football. Offense, defense, and kicking game all being aligned with each other. I'm involved in all facets of the program, but also all 3 phases. I have what I call the plan to win. I put that together when I became a head coach in 1993. And the first component of the plan to win is win the turnover takeaway margin. When I've been +1 or better, all these different stops, 31 years as a head coach, we won 91% of our games. So I'm the ball security coach. I'm the takeaway coach. If a guy didn't handle the ball properly, he's going to hear it from me very quickly. All right. We want to be able to run the ball and stop the run. It's not to say we're not going to throw the football, because we are. But that's a big, important part of the game. If you can't run the ball effectively, you have a difficult chance of winning. Special teams is so important. I've been a special teams coach all my career. We talk about the Cougars don't beat the Cougars. All right? It means we want to be disciplined. We want to have the fewest pre-snap and post-play penalties in the conference. We do that. That's a disciplined team, and it gives you an opportunity to win. And then last but not least, we talk about finishing. Doing a great job of finishing and winning the fourth quarter. You'll see us, everybody does the 4, hand up in the air in the fourth quarter. We did give high 4s, everybody on the team. You'll see that, the energy that we have when we begin the fourth quarter. If you can win the fourth quarter, you can have an opportunity to win. When we've scored one more point or one time of possession in the fourth quarter over my 32-year career, we've won 90% of our games. So that's another very, very telling statistic.
Hey, Coach. Jerome Solomon from the Houston Chronicle. Welcome to town.
Thank you.
You've run a lot of different offenses over the years as well. Does that change what you've been doing the last couple of years because you have different type of players here?
Exactly right. You got to see what you have. Some people are married to one scheme, and if you don't have the right personnel to run that scheme, you're going to have problems. So we've got an overall scheme level. What can a guy do well? Well, you want him to do that. What does he not do very good? Keep him away from doing that, or get a guy in there who can do it. And that's one of my jobs as head coach, is make sure we got the Jimmies and the Joes doing the right things as far as the X's and O's are concerned.
Starslin, the Cougar. Good afternoon, Coach. In terms of building a program and a culture, in your experience, where do you start, and how does that process begin for you?
You just got to be around. You got to be available. You got to be consistent. Our guys, I'm going to be very consistent with how I deal with them, in the classroom, off the field, in the weight room. One of the advantages I feel like that I have that maybe other head coaches at the Division I level don't have is, I've taped ankles. I've lined fields. I was talking about it last night with Chris. When I used to line the fields at Blinn, we dieseled the fields because I didn't have enough money to paint it every week. All right? Now, it's illegal to do that now. I schedule and advise student athletes for 15 years. I was a strength coach for 20 years. So I've done it all, and you got to make sure that you have the whole department aligned, and going in the same direction. And I'll be involved with all facets of the program as well.
Christy Reekin from the Associated Press. You've talked a lot about your journey and how long it took you to get to this level. Can you just put into words like what this whole journey has meant to you and what it means to finally be Power 5 and Big 12 with a chance to show that you can do it at another level?
Well, that's what we want to do. That's why I took this job. I want to do it at the highest level. And one thing I'll say about Susan and I, we loved every place we've been. We've loved every place we've been, and you got to be where your feet are, right? And it just so happens that my feet right now are at the greatest goddamn university in the state of Texas, correct? I didn't cuss. I came close. But
We'll take one more for Coach and then open it up for the rest of the panel.
Coach Ryan Munso with GoCooks.com. The last time you took a job, NIL and the transfer portal were not concerns. What is your plan to make those work for your program going forward?
Well, you got to be very smart with the transfer portal. You bring somebody in, you want to make sure that they fit your culture. I think that's very important. Some guys just bring in a hired gun to come in and play for a year. That's not what I'm looking for. I want somebody to help us improve and get better on the field, off the field, in the classroom. NIL, that's an important part of it. I sometimes hear some of my coaching brethren complain about it. It's here and it's going to stay here. It's not going anyplace. And I've got to do a good job of being heavily involved with the NIL program. Matter of fact, I'm going to meet with some people, I think, later this afternoon.
Awesome.
But it's that's a very, very important part of big-time Division I athletics.
Coach, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and open up for questions for the rest of the panel. Thank you,
Okay.
Coach.
Sit down over here.
First question, just kindly ask you to use the mic.
This is for Pez. Chris, take us through just the process and what made Willie the right guy.
That's a great question, Sam. We obviously had our, kind of mindset around the type of candidate that we wanted. The pool, as Chairman Fertitta had mentioned, was incredibly impressive. A lot of sitting head coaches. And for us, I think the learning curve for a first-time head coach, where we are right now, and a coach that had head coaching experience was prominent in our thought process. Obviously, connections back to the city, a winner, somebody that built a program. And you start kind of listing these things, and that pool gets tight pretty fast. And I remember Coach Fritz came in last year. Week 4 we lost to you guys with your third string backup? Yeah. That
What we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's still fresh in my mind. It haunts me. But that to me spoke a lot about the development of his roster and also the ability to manage it and manage a game around a player when you're down. And not not saying that the other candidates didn't have similar situations, but somebody that had so many ties back to the community, to high school coaches, having been a junior college coach in the state. I mean, we were talking on the plane ride over here. He knows my high school head coach who's, been retired for 20 years. He knows my high school defense coordinator. I mean, it was just a stream of consciousness just kind of going through the list of those, and his community, and then also just to see the way the athletes respond to him. And then obviously talking to some of my peers that have worked around him. I can't tell you the amount of coaches that I've worked with that have reached out and just said, you got the right guy. It got to a point where, I don't want to say no brainer, but it was pretty clear who that person was, and it was Coach Fritz.
Just talk loud, Joseph.
Yeah.
Tilman, you've been on the other side of the search where the coach you had, leaves or is in discussion with the big game, coming up. How important was it to respect, Willie's desire to not allow that to be a distraction at Tulane, but also knowing that he was your guy and you sort of, had to wait? Did you have any concerns that having to wait may not land you him, or that you'd have to go possibly in another direction?
Good question. Let me hit a couple of other things first. I don't think we've recognized Coach Sampson enough, if he's still here. He's not, but you can tell him I said some nice things about him. He's helped put us on the map in the last few years athletically. That when you have a winning football team or you have a winning basketball team, and me and Coach Hogerson and Coach Sampson had talked about this, that when he's able to bring recruits to the Fertitta Center and see what great fans you guys are out there, and see that screaming audience, and every game is a sellout, and our record there is one of the best in the country. It means a lot. And it makes it easier on a head football coach when he's able to bring the recruits there, where a few years ago it wasn't. And it puts you on the map athletically, and it just makes high school athletes and even portal athletes think about your athletic program. And then I want to recognize Susie again and the faculty senate for being so supportive of our athletic department. And we're so proud to be here at the University of Houston, where the administration and athletics are not like this. And why are you spending so much money on athletics? And I've tried myself and the chancellor about winning athletic teams bring alumni back and put money into all the different schools. But Susie, thank you and all the past faculty senate presidents over the last 15 years that basically we've been here, for your support of athletics, and all the faculty out there, because if you don't have them, it really causes issues. So thank you so very much. Carl Lewis is always here, who is world known, and Coach and I were talking about all the great famous names that are part of Houston athletics. And I see him at every home game, so I don't think much of him. But Elvin Hayes and Hakeem, who I just see all the time, and then people walk into my suite and see them at every halftime and go, "Oh my gosh, Hakeem and Elvin are here, two of the greatest 50 NBA players of all time." And Clyde Drexler, we had 3 of them. Think about that, of all the greats, 3 of the top 50 players of all time. And we see them around, and we take it for granted. So I want to thank all of y'all. And then one more person who spends so much time with the chancellor and myself and Chris, Donna Cornell, vice chancellor and general counsel. She has so much to do with all this, and we make her the bad person a lot when it's coming from us. But oh no, we're the nice ones. It's always Donna. So thank y'all all very much. Okay, so let's get back to your question. I had to recognize these people, and I appreciate y'all. So, and of course the fans, thank you so very much, and the supporters. We cannot do it without you. Joseph, we've been kicked in the tail before, and And when Coach asked for some respect about this game that he had Saturday, and if the outcome would have come out differently, and I have to honestly say, I was pulling for Tulane, and then I wasn't pulling for him because I did want to say he had been to a New Year's Day Bowl 2 years in a row, and so I'm a little mad at him, yes. But at the same time, we were going to have respect for him because the Tulane players meant enough to him that he was going to come down here. But when they showed up for practice, I hope I'm not saying anything I shouldn't say, Coach. I apologize. But when those players showed up for practice, he was going to be there, and he was going to coach them to another New Year's Day win. And I totally respect him for that, and none of us had any issue with that. I wanted him here the portal week. That's why it was so important. The portal opens on December the 4th, so it was so important that we had him here today. Like I said, Coach Pez was going to be Coach Pez today if we had to. We would have been in a lot of trouble, let me tell you something. The only person worse would have been Coach Fertitta, so. So I hope I answered your question. Am I glad he's here now throughout? Yes. Family, thank you so very much. And you're not having to go back and forth either. So it all worked out, and we're looking forward to it. But we're going to always do the right thing at the University of Houston, even if other people don't. So thank you, Joseph.
For Dr. Khator, I'm curious, just when you mentioned your hour-and-a-half meeting with Coach Fritz, I'm curious, just what were the strongest impressions he made upon you when you guys visited?
Well, as I said, his integrity, character, and values, they were very important to me. I wanted to see that fire in belly because I don't want to have to tell somebody, you need to do this. I just want somebody to be having that inside of them, and Coach Fritz absolutely had that. And I would say the last thing is, it's great to have everything else, but you also need to see where the future is. We want to make sure we have a sustainable national relevance for our program, because a mediocre athletics would become a liability on an institution. But I know that if you have an excellent athletics program, it becomes an asset for the institution. We are here for students. And they are student athletes, but they are also non-student athletes. Their success, we are not where we want to be, where we should be at this point. But we are committed to building an institution that is deserved, that this city deserves, that this state deserves. So Coach Fritz is going to play a very important role in that. I made sure that it had a clean record, the compliance, because all of those things are important. For our program where we are, one setback can take us back quite a bit, and we just can't afford to do that. So I want to make sure we have here a winning program, but that also a program that is sustainable in every form and fashion. We cannot do without fans, we cannot do without city, we cannot do without sponsorships, we cannot do it without our students. All of them are important here for us. So I was just trying to see in the next coach that we have the values that we can be very proud of and that he can win. So that's where we are today. And now we are on a journey together, Coach.
We'd like to invite the participants to step out front here and for a very special presentation.
Give us some water.
Thank you all so very much for being here. Go Cougs.